Ta-da. Astrology and Alchemy with
On a
Paranormal
Monday.
Sarah. Are we there?
On a Monday, because it's
On a Monday.
It's my fault, Pepper. It's my fault that we're on a Monday.
We're doing it on a Monday because we have got our co-host, Matt. He is winning awards left and right, here and there, up and down, and is going to be traveling out of state to go receive some professional awards. So because we are not internationally famous, well, we are internationally famous. Our podcast is a hit in Australia and India.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we're not, making a crap ton of money or any money at all doing this, we get to move it around for our work schedule. So thank you guys for your patience. And for those of you listening on Odyssey Radio, it'll be the same time and same place. And for those of you listening in on YouTube, you can download it at your will. So it's not going to be a huge deal, but hopefully maybe we have some new people joining us tonight. Maybe some new people in the chat for what it's going to be with astrology. Man, psychic, intuitive, predictive things. We talked last Tuesday about volcanoes, about crazy Twitter things. We talked about that predictive space, guys. How's it panning out for you? How are you feeling about it, Matt?
Pretty good. I feel I'm a little I don't know the right word, a little ornery, which has been my theme almost since 2020 with COVID. But funny about talking about the Twitter stuff, I got into not an argument. I got into a debate with some friends that were calling me an ableist because even though 3 of my 5 kids are on the spectrum, I was accused of being not nice to Elon Musk because he's supposedly on the spectrum.
Oh.
For me, honestly, I view it as once your power gets you to the point that you can treat other people like shit, you can't hide behind any label.
Yeah, and even if you are a little bit on the spectrum, you don't have to be an asshole.
And I got to add, Neuralink, I'm not into that whole Revelation crowd stuff, but Neuralink is the closest thing to quote unquote
the sign of the beast.
Yes, the Neuralink scares the ever living crap out of me. If you don't know about it,
Really?
Basically picture uploading your consciousness to the cloud and think about all the implications of that. Like
the Matrix.
Think of all the horror movies that are based on that stuff. Of rich people could basically just download their consciousness into an attractive body, in the future. There's so many really scary implications to that all that, I don't think we should be looking at that.
Well, and I think
it has to get trashed.
I think about the Matrix. I think about being able to be I want to learn French and I'm so ready to just completely know it all and all the up slang and all of it. Just give it to me, download it. And to be able to do that would just be so nice.
I'm not seeing it, but Pepper says we're freezing. So I apologize if there's internet issues out there.
Are we freezing? Christy, Steph, Pepper, John, Maddie, any of you guys, are we glitching a little bit for you? Steph says, man, you don't think Gates isn't into it too? Of course, they're all there a little bit.
Yeah, but I don't. Here's my big thing. None of these folks are friends with me on social media, so they don't know. Here's my big soapbox. I don't pick the lesser of two evils. Good is good and evil is evil, and I won't play for any team evil. So if Gates and Musk are doing the whole Neuralink crap, I won't support either of them.
I'm for the referees.
I don't judge shades of gray. I'm all on team good and purity and light. I didn't want to say that
on the dark side.
Black and white, because that could get misinterpreted as
I'm just going to sip my tea. Christy says, just a little buffering. Steph says, I don't trust any of them. And Pepper, hopefully things are better since you have been able to refresh. You guys let us know if there is a little bit of a glitch in the system. We'll do our best to slow things down if we gotta. But I don't think there's any solar flares or weird things happening. Hi, Carson and John, all of you guys joining us from wherever you are at in the corner of the world. Let us know where you are joining in from. And how has your predictive space been? How have you felt using this? We're coming down to the end of the year, guys. We are already middle of December. Can you believe it? Middle of December.
Nobody is seen on any of my Facebook platforms because I'm still banned for essentially calling the Proud Boys the KKK. Facebook,
Yeah. You're banned.
30-day media ban.
I'm banned because I was spamming the search for my dad's kidney, which we got last week. Whoop, whoop. And he is still
Fantastic.
doing well with that. Yep. He's got a lot of fluid and drainage and bloating and things like that. But this time last week, we were kind of getting the call in the middle of the night. In the middle of the night. And it was anonymous. So he's been telling everybody crazy stories about who gave it to him. And it's a different story every time. It's really funny. If you're joining in online, people are like, oh, yeah, do you know who it was? He's like, yes, it was a father saving a puppy on a trainway. And like, you know, the very next time someone's like, do you know who it was? He's like, yes, it was a carnival man who fell without a net for the first time. He was famous. Didn't you hear? And it's like, it's always a different story.
That is awesome.
So anyway, yeah, we're on the naughty list this year, Matt and I. We were banned numerous times, so whatever. Yeah. Whatever.
I gotta add really quick. As a joke, I got actually like a lifetime kicked off of it because when I got the jab at first, I posted sarcastically that it was no big deal. I just went through the McDonald's and got to hold up my arm and paid with my arm and they said, thank you, Matthew, and thank you for getting the vaccine. And they gave me a lifetime ban for spreading misinformation, which I appealed and said, use your brain. This is obviously an effing joke. And got
the algorithm does not know sarcasm.
Yeah, no. That's what I learned.
Really
so that's why I like, yeah.
It just doesn't. So you guys, we have been banned in some of those little areas of the internet in the dark realm. And that's okay. That happens sometimes to the best of us, but that's okay. We are still here. You're still joining us. All 7, 8, 16, and 12 of you, depending on what corner of the universe you're joining us from. Maybe you're a time traveler. But let's get into the astrology. Wow, I had a brain fart there for a second. Last week, you guys, if you joined us last week, you know what to expect for tomorrow. And usually we would be doing the show on a Tuesday saying, don't forget what we told you last week. But we can actually give you a heads up for what to remind you of for tomorrow. Tomorrow, something big kind of happens. Well, 2 big things happen. The first big thing that happens, and we don't have to drum on it because we did last week, but the first thing is that Mercury enters Capricorn tomorrow. So for Capricorn season, guys, this is a really big deal. We'll just kind of lightly mention again how important this is for a Tuesday. Matt, you're going to be moving in on that vacation space. What does this mean for people who are looking to be doing anything?
Yes, we're going from, full disclosure, I'm a Cap here, so I'm probably a little biased, but we're going from Sag, which is exploratory space, not a whole lot of permanence or commitment, just kind of exploring things, into where Capricorn is much more goal-driven, the little goat climbing the mountains. And so I would say thoughts and communication are going to shift to much more goal and achievement orientation. The other thing I'll call it about Capricorn, I'd say Capricorn and Scorpio, I consider the 2 most intense signs in the zodiac, but the difference being Scorpio is emotional intensity and Capricorn is cold intensity. So, Capricorn is going to go after those goals regardless of the emotional toll it takes on things. So it's a much colder,
you're as cold as ice
energy to it. So just realize that, they're going to go, once those goals are identified, they're going to go after that, whether, regardless of the emotional toll that might take on others.
Right. They don't care what you feel or think. What do you mean it means you're gone for 8 months? That's what I got to do. It's where I got to go. It's the job I got to chase. It's the things that have to get done in order for this to happen. Capricorn is going to do that and is going to cut the cord. I think of Medicine Man with Sean Connery. That dates me quite a bit, but like the ability to do whatever is necessary, cut the carabiner, drop the remaining 50 feet, like do whatever things have to happen, even though it's super scary and you don't know what's underneath you in the Amazon River. It could be those things that live in your urethra. They do it anyway. And that is Capricorn energy because you just don't know until you know, but you're thinking about it. Now, the moon is waxing into Gemini tomorrow. But on top of that, you have Mercury going from Sagittarius to Capricorn, squaring off with Jupiter and Pisces. Guys, this has been a big deal. I would say the Jupiter and Pisces and Neptune and Pisces this last week. That's been the biggest feeling that I have felt as far as astrological things go. The sleep disturbances, the dream deja vu, synchronicities, thinking you're hearing something, kind of weirdness, the fogginess, that we're going to have that kind of playing on us tomorrow as well. Matt, any advice on that? Last week you said hush.
I'm just going to plug because I feel bad. We have not done the music for the signs, and I actually think I worked them all out for all 12 signs, and I think I lost my list, both bands and songs.
You didn't lose that list.
I may have to do the whole thing over because I think I may have lost the list. That's how long we've taken that.
Which is my fault, guys, because he did his whole list, and then I only did partial list because I, quite honestly, was just thinking about like my dad and my kids and school and like all the fun stuff. Like it just never gets done. And Matt and I are always trying to do all this fun stuff, and it always just kind of gets to the wayside. But I have mine on a playlist on YouTube, so it's constantly growing, and more than 10 for each sign. So I have to minimize mine, but they are saved on a YouTube playlist. So we should do that maybe for the new year. Maybe we can figure this out.
I gotta look at that again. I think we're losing an opportunity to engage with folks.
Yes, because it helps people identify with the signs, that music, and the music energies. You had said last week to hush. Remember, hush. Consider the shadow work, but also like what you need to be quiet about. Censorship. Mindful of your words. Those kinds of things last week. But
I see this one this week as maybe I'm in a different headspace, but I see this as like your thoughts and communication, like goal oriented. Square is always like conflict, so that's conflicting with opportunity. To Pisces is kind of that selfless, sacrificial, take one for the team space. So I feel this is almost like a tension between what you want to do versus what might be better for folks, society in general, like your circle in general, it's kind of like the selfish interest in conflict with what's better for everyone around you.
I can't even say it any better. It's like a detoxifying of those that I was going to stutter just then. I really struggled. There's so much I could say about that Capricorn energy and how it reminds me of the hermit and isolation and the seasonal affective disorder and all of that Northern Hemisphere type vibe. You guys, I would say the last thing that's going to happen tomorrow, and again, I know we talked about this last week, so if you want the Tuesday breakdown, go to last week because we're giving you one day ahead of time. The last thing that's going to happen is that Gemini full moon cycle. We are now going to be having the moon in Leo opposite the Saturn and Aquarius. So I expect tomorrow, any of the weird stuff you've been seeing in the news, we had mentioned it last week. I expect some rule changing.
Yep. And I see this as tension between, since Leo likes attention and the spotlight. So I see this tension as if I go to change the rules and shake things up, kind of that status quo looking judgmental at me. So it's kind of that tension between, what you're supposed to do versus shaking things up. And that kind of conflict is, I'll click on this one, is what that one is.
Rattle and roll. I think anytime that Saturn and Aquarius moves, I'm always thinking, oh, this is a new mandate. This is a new, something, somebody, some law somewhere is being ruined by someone. And so I just am kind of like, oh, I wonder what the protest is going to be. I wonder what the big censorship is going to be, the big shutdown. I mean, we just had nuclear stuff happening, fusion and all types of really cool things in science. So some rule changing that is going to be some, vibes tomorrow. But let's get into Wednesday. Let's go ahead and start moving towards the week ahead.
I'm going to do a rabbit thing. So I'm just going to call out that picture behind you and say skull. There's another one like that. That's a devil. And I am so old.
I have it.
That when I was a kid, we went to a doctor that actually still did house calls, actually still mixed medicine in his back room. And in his waiting room, he had both that one and the devil one. And as a little kid, I thought they were like the coolest thing.
This one.
Yep.
I've got them both. They usually sit in the front of my office, and I've been moving things around, and I didn't know which one to hang, but I have them both. Isn't that cool?
I am so ancient that my doctor as a kid was actually kind of like a country doctor that like did all his own shit.
You guys, this is a party of people, the mingling, the gossip, as they call. But yeah, I love Gestalt psychology and kind of those vibes. That's so funny. He had both. I have them too. I
Well,
love pieces. I would get them as sleeve tattoos if I had money. Anybody? Money? Anyway, all right, guys. Wednesday, I want you to get your pieces of paper out. If this is your first time joining us on Astrology and Alchemy, Matt and I like to use this energy to predict what's going to happen, which means, how did you know? Well, I mean, yes, we're connected with our guides and our inner subconscious and our outer collective conscious, but really, sometimes it's as easy as looking at the game, knowing the team. How have we been doing this season? Knowing the season is extremely important. It gives you a good state of awareness. So let's look at Wednesday this week, guys. Starting this week, Wednesday, put a dot on y'all paper. It's going to be the 14th. And this is going to be the first movement of Wednesday morning. The sun is going to be in Sagittarius. Whoop, whoop. That's fun. And it's going to be squaring. Oh, no. It's going to be squaring off with Neptune in Pisces. That's going to be a social worker day. What do you think when you see that, Matt?
sorry, I had to talk to one of my kids there as I was on
Wandering and daydreaming. Sagittarius.
So we have, Sun's still in this exploratory space. Sag is very exploratory. Square is, again, conflict with dreams. And this, so this is an interesting one. I see this as Neptune Pisces is still that like dreams, delusions. So kind of maybe what you want out of life coming into conflict with. So I almost view this as like you're exploring, you're digging into things, and you're coming to that realization that kind of your dreams or expectations or what you thought ideal wise isn't syncing with reality. So a little bit of a kind of, I don't know the right word to use for it. So it's almost kind of like learning about Santa Claus. It's having some of your ideals and views of the world getting kind of crushed. So, bitch slap of reality. That's how I'll call it.
The bitch slap of reality. That's going to be Wednesday morning. I'm putting down for the neurolinguistics there, guys, which means for those of you joining us on social media, I always put the ritual, the shadow work, the suggestions on how to use this. This is that, what is real? We were kind of laughing about the Matrix and what is real? Is it something that you think you're seeing or touching? The acknowledgement and recognizing, those two things, to recognize versus just to acknowledge. That's a big difference. But they're so, they're subtle, they're similar, but it's actually a very big difference. So I'm excited to see how this is going to pan out for you guys. And then one more thing is happening Wednesday, December 14th. You guys know I'm going to be excited about this. When people say that I'm glowing, it's going to be because of this. Moon waning in Virgo. My moon on my birth chart breaks everything down, all of your planets. My moon is in Virgo. So each month when the moon is in Virgo, that's a time for me personally to shine. So when is your moon?
My moon's Taurus. That's why we get along. We got a lot of Earth stuff.
That's right. So for those of you, whether your moon is in Virgo or not, what should they expect with that, Matt?
Well, yeah. When the moon's in your sign, it's kind of like your power days of the month, because there's like 2 or 3 days every month that the moon is in your home sign. So if you know your moon sign, if you don't know your moon sign, we can help you find that out. But those are kind of like your power days. Here in this case, again, it's only lasts 2 or 3 days, so it's kind of fleeting. But Virgo, I always say, is very detail oriented, I's dotted, T's crossed, very particular. So this is emotions very focused on the details. So kind of a picky, detail-oriented energy.
Yeah. The devil is in the details, right? What are those going to break down for you? The little tasks, the little chores that need to be done, the little things that are going to sneak up on you, whether it be for holiday things or New Year things or career things. For me, in social work, it's always progress notes. It's just getting all of those things squared away for the new year, for the calendar year, for the fiscal year, for the tax year, for the school year, all that stuff. This is a great time to do that because Virgo energy is so OCD and it really likes to kind of ease those feelings because being on the cusp of the earth water space. So guys, let's use that and step out. So again, we're kind of getting a panoramic view, how to use this energy. One thing happens on Thursday, December 15th. Only one thing. And that is the moon still waning in Virgo, but it's going to be squaring off with the Mars, with Mars and Gemini. How do you see that panning out for Thursday?
So lots of squares so far. Square is conflict. So again, we have this emotional, detail-oriented, kind of having conflict with Mars is action, but Gemini is, very exploratory in air. So think like ideas and communications kind of going back and forth on things. So I see this as, once again, I always go with Gemini, kind of like that path less traveled, or kind of the crossroads, which way do you go? So I see this as a conflict of which direction do I want to go in, combined with feeling like I don't have enough details to make that decision. So I see stress over needing to get details to know which way I'm going to go. So I see, even on like kind of the macro of looking at what to expect on Thursday, is I expect a lot of people wanting information to make decisions. So like, depending on what your job is, you may get tons of requests. Think about it, we're heading into like the holidays and kind of everything's slowing down. So like kind of picture that wave of requests of, hey, I need this info for be able to do whatever. So yeah, it's a big quest for information so that I know what to do going forward. It's going to be the energy on Thursday.
Hey, John, I'm going to need to go ahead and I know I asked for Thursday, but I'm going to need Friday and Wednesday.
I know everybody's out on Friday, so by the end of the day, Friday, I need this,
There's no point in me being here, so I'm going to go ahead and leave out early.
Work done so that I can go on vacation.
Shoot. Okay. Well, I wish you had told me that earlier, or those details. There's my dog trying to he's looking at the thing that I made, Matt. The curses and hexes that I'm making on my counter. For those of you ask, like, what is she talking about? I'm making weird little things, and I've got feet laying around, and my dog's like, "What's that?" That's very interesting. Anyway, okay, so Friday, man, Friday's going to be a weird day after this Wednesday and Thursday. So again, we start to kind of look at these dots on your paper, guys. Start taking this time to predict. What does your intuition tell you? Who, what, when, where, why? Write it down. What does this mean for your life? What does this mean for your state, your nation? What does this mean for the world? Kind of back it up a little bit. And then I look at Friday. Two things are happening. They're moon movements, both of them, which is kind of interesting. I don't think that we have that too often, that in the morning you're in one sign and by the evening you're in another, and why that would even matter. Because it's a Friday. This is the moon waning. And it's the last little morning we wake up and it's Friday, and we have that last little chunk of the Virgo energy. So we want to kind of use that to get ready for the day. How would you say to use the last of that for Friday morning?
Yeah, so this is a Sag cycle. So this is all about exploration. So kind of the last cycle on this, is I would say, is the Virgo details of wherever you decided to move based on this energy, whatever you decided to take on, whatever you decided to do something new this month. This is like that tie up all the last details to make sure like you have everything together before you go ahead and move. So this is, I feel, even though they're not opposite, I feel in a lot of respects, Sag and Virgo are very opposite of each other, because, Sag is kind of like the sure, why not? Just go ahead and do it. And Virgo is like detail. Like I want to know the information before I move. And so this is like finalizing all that information before you go ahead and jump off the cliff there.
So weird. You said finalize just as I was typing it. So I know that that's really going to be the right word for that day. Finalize. It's Friday morning, December 16th. Finalize all the stuff that you're doing, those vacation plans, those airline tickets, those trips for January, February, March, the holiday things, the things you're going to buy on Amazon. You're not quite sure if you do it, if it's going to arrive on time. Don't wait until Saturday morning, which means it's going to be Sunday, and then it'll be Monday, and then it's cutting it too close. Do it Friday morning. Do it. Get it done. Okay? Because then the day is going to kind of move by very quickly, and the moon is moving waning. So I think of draining. I think of waning. I think of emotions waning. Rain down upon you. Kind of, being foggy and, not being able to see because it's raining. And it's in Libra now. By Friday night, it's going to be moving into Libra. I know how I feel when my moon is in Libra. How do you feel? For me, that's give me space.
Yeah. Well, I'm a little biased too, because as I said before, even though I'm a Cap, I got stellium. So if folks don't know that, it's like three or more planets in the same sign. So I got a lot of Libra energy. So I like Libra. Libra is diplomatic. Libra is balanced. So again, moon is emotion. So this is going to be very balanced, kind of trying to keep everything nice, keep everybody kind of in a comfy space. Libra likes nice things. The other thing I'll always add is Libra is a cardinal sign, so it likes to move things, but it moves things in kind of this non-direct manner. So the analogy I always give is you get invited over for dinner, and then after they feed you, they ask you how the dinner was, and then say, by the way, I have like a whole bunch of wood outside. Do you mind helping me like load it? It's like that kind of thing. It's
well,
indirect.
Got all the house clean this morning
towards something. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be, and I kind of, again, I always like to see how is this going to pan out for those prediction spaces. For example, in my life, I think, okay, I'm going to be finalizing my holiday plans, what it is I need to get at the grocery store, all the stuff for how the last few weeks are going to go. And I'm going to go, okay, now that I've got everything done and my Amazon ordered and all that stuff, now it's time to get everything wrapped. Now it's time to get the wrapping paper out and ready. Now it's time to kind of finalize those steps of what I've done. I know what I need. So now I'm get it all finished up and move it under the tree, move it to its hiding spot, move the receipts, clear the history, do all the things so that nobody knows what it is you just got them for Christmas. This is the Libra space. And this is going to be an interesting Friday night. I say that because, okay, let's look at Saturday morning. Saturday morning, guys. Getting close to Christmas. Mercury is in Capricorn, and it's trine Uranus in Taurus. So let's put that up there. It's a lot of Earth. It's a lot of Earth energy on that Saturday. What does that mean?
Well, Uranus is kind of changing the rules. It's the curveball. Taurus is stable and indulgent. So I always say this one is rebelling by not doing. Trine is synergy. So you have this thoughts and communication and achievements. So this is a really interesting one because Capricorn is so driven to do things, and Taurus is kind of driven to keep things the same. I'm kind of struggling a little bit with this. So it's, I always say Uranus and Taurus is rebelling by not doing. So maybe the thoughts and communication in Capricorn is I'm going to start achieving things by changing how I approach things and not doing some of the things I used to do. So I would look for, which day is this? Are we still on Friday? Or are we on Saturday?
Saturday morning.
Okay. It's a little different because obviously there's not going to be too many people working, but I view this as people initiating change by not doing things they would normally do. So look for people acting kind of out of character on Saturday, and that might not be just a whim. That might be an indication of a new approach from those people.
You've got that person that's always just willing to jump in the car and be your person to help you get those errands done. And you call them up Saturday because you just got all your stuff finished and you say, hey, how about I come by and pick you up and we go and finish all that stuff and I get your help, and I use your Costco card like usual. And that person's going to go, you know what? I don't feel like it today. And it's going to be that rebellion by not doing is going to throw a wrench in things if you're not careful, because if you had planned to do that, the airport not working, the baggage claim not being open, the craft store that usually has the stuff not having the stuff, the yarn you needed for the blanket being out of order, that shit's going to matter. It's going to be a cog in the wheel if you're not careful. And so that's that Uranus and Taurus curveball that is going to end up catching up to you if you're not careful. So don't let your emotions get the better of you. And I say that Mercury and Capricorn, that communicate those needs, communicate that boundary. Gosh dang it, I'm sorry to be freaking out, but I got to have my flamethrower sauce with those fries and they don't have it today and they're all out and I waited 17 minutes and now I'm mad. And to be able to communicate that to someone so that everybody knows what's going on. It's like, dang, that usually wouldn't be such a big deal. But today it's going to be a big deal.
Yep.
What is the cog in your wheel?
Yipper.
Is not the cog in your wheel. That's going to be the shadow work for that day, guys. Oftentimes just thinking of the antithesis of, hey, what's gonna be the thing that throws it in for us? All right. Think about everything else. Because Uranus and Taurus especially is going to do that to you. How do we feel like this is going to affect us in a nationwide, bigger panoramic view? Do you see anything there, guys?
Curious what folks in the chat say, but I see this as definitely a element of folks maybe changing things up, saying they're not going to behave the way that they normally would. So with what's going on in our country right now, I see this as maybe some folks on certain political parties not towing the party line and coming up and saying, I won't, we have different people getting voted on and different things getting set up and different people like aligning with parties. And so I see a little bit more of that of, I know I'm supposed to support you on A, but I'm not this time. I'm going to do B. That's kind of, again, that rebelling by not doing. So
it's like a bunt.
Yep.
This is the universe's bunt on Saturday, and you're going to be all excited and holiday wound up tight to go do something, and all of a sudden it's gonna have a little jerk stop that's going to make you do a double take on things. And so I'm interested to see what this will be for those of us on an individual level, but then also for those of us on a macro level. We're all going to have some type of an influence happening on that Saturday. That's this week.
I got to add, if anybody's looking at me and I'm looking distracted or confused, I have people that have seen my Sunday show know that I live in an active place and I have weird. And so one of the ways that I get information is smells. And I'm getting a cornucopia of bizarre smells that do not fit in my office right now. So everything from popcorn to like rotting vegetables so it's just like a nonstop parade of things that I can't explain with what's going on in my house. So if I'm looking distracted, that's why.
Well, and how interesting. I've heard the word cornucopia twice today. Kind of an interesting word.
Interesting.
Anyway. Interesting.
Right now it just feels like somebody that's why I was like looking around. It feels like somebody just like dumped a thing of like rotting vegetables. Like,
ooh, Katie says, olfactory. That's right.
That's how, I gotta say that's one of the ways I get. Like the only problem with that is I don't know what to do with the information. But even when I do like paranormal investigations and stuff, I always get like smells that don't fit. So I know it's like it's like a way to communicate, but the problem is like I don't know necessarily what to do with that information because like that's all you get. So so it's weird, but yeah. So like all of a sudden, my office has become like profoundly unpleasant for no reason. So if I'm looking distracted, that's why.
Okay, we for Sunday Night Dead, guys, because the craziness will ensue. I swear. All right, Sunday. It's going to be Sunday, and only one thing happens. Only one thing happens on Monday and Tuesday. Too simple. Going out of the 18th, 19th, and 20th as we go into the last week before Christmas. Now, Sunday, December 18th. This is a moon movement. I get a little nervous anytime this sign shows up, guys, and don't take it personally. My dad is a Scorpio, but the moon enters Scorpio on Sunday. And that's the predominant movement, the last Sunday before Christmas. How do we feel about this?
It's funny. I want to just add, we should do this. And I hesitate to say this because, I trigger more people in the audience than you seem to on this. But we do seem to have very different views of the different signs.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we should almost like rank our most comfortable, the least comfortable signs just to see what people would say. Scorpio. So Scorpio, as I mentioned earlier with Cap, Scorpio and Cap are the two like intense signs, most intense signs in my opinion. The big difference is Scorpio is emotional intensity. Capricorn is cold intensity. So I view like almost like Scorpio is like water, like a river. So you see the water flowing, but you don't know what the currents are going underneath. Scorpio is very intense, but Scorpio is very good at not showing. They're a very good poker face. What's going on with them isn't necessarily what you're seeing. Unlike an Aries that has absolutely like no control over their emotions, what you see is what you get. Scorpio keeps things kind of hidden, and it's very, very intense. So this is an overall shift because it's the moon phase. So like this isn't a very strong energy, but it affects everybody. So this is kind of this whole heavy emotions hitting. Which day is this now? I've like totally lost
Sunday.
So yeah. So everybody's going to be kind of in a heavy emotional space come Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Sunday, and the reason I have that, I kind of grin because I think about when I was a little girl and I wanted to be a detective and I wanted to be an inspector and like, secret agent Sarah. And when I learned that you could iron the mail and it would melt the glue on the back and that you could open up your report card without ripping the paper and you could even lick it and reseal it again. Talk about taking the money out of the Christmas cards. Talk about the excitement that was being able to open. By the way, you can't iron tape on the presents. That catches fire and becomes a whole nother story. And that is wherein the Sunday in Scorpio and the smirk comes from, Stephen, in the chat room, is I'm thinking, and that is kind of the Scorpio energy. It's either going to help you get the visions clear and to know those secrets, or you're going to burn everything down and kill them. You're either going to have Botox, wrinkle-free foreheads with no migraines, or you're going to be poisoned to death and die. And it really is, you got to know which is which. You don't just go putting stingers in your forehead. Do you know what I mean? It's really going to be what you know. It's how you feel on Sunday. So depending on how people feel is going to be depending on what they know. If I see someone like, they just opened a gift. They know something. Depending on how people act is what they know. Is that what we're saying? How people feel / act is what they know. Okay, so that's going to be very important. That's Sunday. That's this coming Sunday. All right, guys, I know it seems crazy. We're going to be, sometimes this happens. We have a short week. We're able to take a few frequently asked questions at the end here. And I think we might have that as we're going out here in just the last 15 minutes still of the show. And we only have 2 days left. And that is going to be Monday and Tuesday of next week. So let's do, and only one thing is happening for Monday and Tuesday. Monday, boom. Oh, this is going to be an interesting day. Monday. Ooh. Monday, everyone's going to be sending those Christmas cards out to their lovers. Their secret
last
lovers.
week, I think it was the last 2 weeks, we had a lot of Venus stuff. There's no Venus. I always enjoy
Venus
because it's just more interesting to talk about romantic type things. And Dolly, it's my fault. I'm out of town tomorrow, so instead of skipping a week, we just bumped it up by a day early.
Yeah.
This is a good one because sextile is remove obstacles. So you have this emotional intensity, removing obstacles to romance, and Capricorn's all about achievement. So I feel this is like if someone has romantic interest in somebody else and they've had whatever it is, whatever obstacles preventing them from kind of moving in that direction. Monday is when those obstacles move and they'll start being energy put in that direction. So what I will always do, if you're interested in this area, obviously, some folks that are in very, stable, settled things won't care about this at all. But those folks who aren't, look for any interactions on Monday, particularly anything that's a little different or out of place, because it could be a romantic feelers or romantic overtures from someone.
Mm-hmm. This is that. Hey, I know usually we don't get people, things in the people in the office. But I remember that you like books. So here's a book that I got you. I got
yep.
for you.
Gifts out of the blue. If you get a text or message from somebody that you haven't heard from in like 6 months or something.
Smell my
maybe
perfume.
A little more behind that than you realize. It could be a little bit of feelers.
Do you like it? People are going to ask weird things, maybe cross a boundary that they're not usually going to do because it's a Monday. And it might even be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I haven't had my coffee. And like they bump into you and, oh, that's so weird. Like, I'm sorry, you know, just it's the end of the year, end of the world, you know, never know. Like it's going to be if you've seen the movie, the Walter Mitty, what's the movie? The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. By the way, some people have Alexa. I have Brandon. He just knows everything and answers.
I gotta say that is awesome.
It's better privacy, I can tell you that. And
awesome that he's within like earshot, that you can just kind of like shout things out to him and get your answers.
Well, and also this is, people think it's cool, but also it's kind of creepy. It's because he's a musician, so he's also in studio at all times and can hear like a mole fart from like 500 yards away. So you got to be real careful. The kids haven't really learned that yet. They'll be down, they're like 3 stories downstairs, like, go upstairs and steal your Nintendo. And he can hear it. And it's fantastic. But anyway, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. It's got like Sean Penn and really funny Catherine Wig in it and like Ben Stiller. And it's a really good movie, I think, about the Venus energy, the way that I like to think of it when it's coy and sheepish, even an adult. You know, maybe have fond feelings about someone and you're trying to make it work. I get a lot of people that ask for psychic readings about love life and love interests. And, you know, if you're not in middle school or high school, it's hard to explain what adult flirtation might look like. You know, and I think Venus in Capricorn is cold and thoughtful. It's that pen pal from 11 years ago that pops up and just says, hey, I saw a weird thing in a gift shop and thought of you. And it's something that's just really meaningful, you know? I already know, like, maybe for me in my life, it's probably going to be people, since my dad has a kidney now, people will be like, you know, I just wanted to reach out and say Merry Christmas and then what a miracle. And just, you know, to just let you know, I've always cared about you. Or it'll be some weird little thing that someone tries to slip in there that pay attention to it. It'll be subtle. It's going to give you an indication of where the romance seeds are. How do you think that's going to play out for the world, Matt?
Ooh, that's when I think of the world, I think more in money in this case. So
first day of Hanukkah.
Yeah, I feel like there's going to be some. Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm gonna punt and say I feel this is more of a interpersonal than anything on the grand scale of things. I don't think this is going to translate into a big news day.
Okay. I think
there'll be stuff going on. There'll be people moving money and making positions, but none of it's going to be visible to any of us. So it's going to be all behind the scenes crap. People are going to be
behind the scenes, and then
or like a big new, like this is like insider trading crap that's going to be going on here.
You said it, especially after that fusion and being able to like have energy that just goes on forever and ever and ever. And here we are. There it is. There's the big one. Tuesday. It's going to be a week from tomorrow. This is the movement that I think says it all. And I think if anyone's going to be nervous, if I'm going to be nervous about anything happening in the world news, what day is it going to be? It's going to be next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, Jupiter enters Aries. Boom, boom, boom. This is the big gas giant, guys. This is the guy with the big old red-eyed hurricane, Jupiter, the big friendly fat Chris Farley of the galaxy. And he's moving into the cardinal fire sign. This is 2:59 in the night, trying to get the drunkest guy in the bar out.
This is you're at the wedding and the crazy ass aunt or uncle that's unstable to begin with is totally lit in what they're going to do.
With the microphone.
This is just bad because Jupiter is opportunity. Jupiter expands everything. And Aries, I mean, no offense to it, but Aries, you know, it's the first sign. I guess maybe I feel this way because, and again, it's square to my cap, so it's just so different from me. It's impulsive. It's not thought out. It's rather since the earliest sign, it's kind of a juvenile, I'd say almost like teen energy to it. So this is not well thought out, impulsive, screw it, just do it. And Jupiter is just opportunity. So this is the opportunity to just impulsively do shit.
Last week before Christmas, shit's going crazy in the stock market. People are going crazy on Twitter.
So
Kanye's
this is
going.
the day, unlike the last day. Is this Tuesday? Tuesday is this is a big news day, I think, because there's just going to be impulsive, not well thought out crap. Like a whole bunch of stuff's going to happen on Tuesday.
Putin's.
And it's all going to be impulsive, aggressive, not well thought out.
Say
just
something.
yeah,
Everyone.
do it.
Trump
Screw
will
it.
say
We're not going to think things
something.
out. Just go.
This is the day. This is the day that stuff's going to go down. And also what I love about this is I look at, the astrology panouts and some of the reports that, this is that over the next year, a tone, 2023, guys, a tone of individuality. Who am I? Enthusiasm, of being bold. I think about my dad getting a new kidney. This is, you know what? This is what I'm going to do now. Fortune and goals and refocusing. Think of my debut album now, not the first album, my debut album. What? I thought your debut was no. That was my single. This is my debut. Oh, my whole new me. This is going to be interesting for artists, for politicians, for you. What is on fire?
I would say I want to almost look this up now because I would guess that, and this is no offense to any Aries out there, but I don't think I doubt that there are many Aries that are good at playing chess.
No.
But Aries is very much like I always think of like Men in Black when everybody's just sitting around like writing, and then like Will Smith gets up and like moves that table to be able to sit in it and like write better. It's like they're good at the initiative and just going and doing crap, but they don't think 2 or 3 steps out.
Mm-mm.
So like they move and then they might be a little later like, oh shit. So I also think like on the world stage, this could be like an energy to like bait. If you want to like, particularly like with the war going on and things like that, if you want to like bait somebody into doing something, it's that kind of thing. There'll be that impulsive energy to move. And then
Pepper says, man, I love
chess. They have the oh shit moment later.
Yeah, I think of Pepper. I love chess, and I'm an Aries. I think of what it must be like to Johnny Knoxville trying to be a director and producer. Like this is an energy that I fully expect to be on fire, like a firework. It's very difficult for me to understand it in a strategic way. It is hard to see it for that. And so knowing that Jupiter is a gas giant on fire, this is a home that's been, full of that gas on the stove going, and then somebody lighting a match. This is like, you can't really see what's going to happen, but something could quite possibly blow up and really change stuff.
Jupiter's kind of like that, just, it's just that whole energy of just picture like a whole room of people being like, do it. Then add on top of it, Aries already is inclined to just, sure, hell, I'll do it. Like it's just like, right. It's just like, yeah, it's squared. It's like impulsivity squared.
I hear a lot of music playing. I see a lot of things in my mind's eye when I'm kind of looking into next Tuesday. You guys, for those of you joining us in the chat, and if you've got that pen and paper in front of you, take a moment. What's going to happen on Tuesday?
I'm going to say, if there's going to be any kind of event that we're going to have a big debate of, is NATO going to get sucked into this war? It's going to happen on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
So look for something where, another missile is going to land in Poland, or there's going to be something where, or somebody's going to make some announcement that they're supplying, Poland's going to send F-16s. And there's going to be something that's going to like raise the stakes of that whole discussion.
What's that song? I am so sorry that I wish I was better with lyrics. Because my brain is a DJ trying to mix Kings of Leon, Your Sex is on Fire, with whatever that song is. The My love is on fire. Because
yeah,
I know what song that is. Oh, is that Alicia Keys?
Yeah, isn't it that girl's on? I don't know what it's called, but
that girl
on fire. Yeah,
is on fire. It is that girl. That girl is on fire. That is a girl. It is a girl, and she's on fire. Oh, But then I hear Kings of Leon, your sex is on fire.
See, and I think I'm getting talking heads burning down the house. It's just kind of like
burning down the house.
Like torch all the shit.
I wonder who's going to catch on fire. I wonder if someone will actually do, what do we call it? When you catch yourself on fire?
Oh, spontaneously combust.
Not spontaneously combust. Though that is
a stare in a recliner, and now there's only ash.
What's it called when you catch yourself on fire? What? Not Harry, but something else.
Oh.
You know, when you're like a.
Oh, you mean like that monk in Vietnam? Like
yeah, for like
machine, like album cover.
For political reasons.
Oh, I don't know what that's called.
I don't know what it is either, but it's a word, and it's a specific word. It's a very special way to commit suicide by fire. What is it?
It's self-immolation.
Self-ventilation? Immolation. Self-immolation.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought that was like gutting yourself.
Self-immolation.
I trust Brandon.
Yeah, the Brandon, the great Alexa 2.0. I really do feel that way. I feel that way. I don't know how we feel about it. But you guys, that's the week. And so it's going to end with some fire. And I wonder, and I'm actually feeling fire. So I don't know how you guys feel about that. Let me know your predictions in the chat room. Let us know wherever you're joining us.
I feel very uneventful on the news front. I feel very uneventful until Tuesday. But I feel like next Tuesday, not this Tuesday, next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, not tomorrow.
Very eventful day.
The next, yeah, right before freaking Christmas. So yeah, Steph says maybe it's just about being passionate, engulfing yourself in passion and fire. That is so optimistic. I love you, Steph. It could very well be that, and I'm hopeful that for you on an individual basis, that is what it is. That you feel ignited, you feel sparked within, you feel a fire in your heart. I might be a little desensitized by my forensic psychology. I feel like it might be somebody on fire, actually on fire.
Well, remember that you're talking to two people that are very heavy in earth in their charts. So
I'm thinking like Michael Jackson on stage catching his hair on fire. Ow! Like actual fire. Anyway, man, I'm dating myself again with that one. That was a serious thing. That happened.
You are significantly younger than me, so. I think I shared that last week that I was at a group lunch where I like had to reveal my age and everyone was like, their eyes just got big and they're like,
right. We don't do that anymore. We like, just don't do that.
That's old. You're old. You old, dude.
Somebody today, I won't say where I was at Walmart, but we were in a waiting room and there was a Janet Jackson on the news and the teeny bopper was like, didn't that girl like do porn once or like go topless? And somebody was like, she accidentally showed her nipple at halftime like 11 years ago. And I was like, oh, that was that long ago. Like it just was a moment. I was like, wow, it's really been a long time. Anyway, yeah, so there we are, guys. And Steph said, man, if you've not watched Ancient Apocalypse on Netflix, you really should. Maybe it's what we're talking about. I've been watching Peripheral. I know some people are watching Yellowstone.
I've been doing Cabinet of Curiosities.
Ooh, Cabinet of Curiosities. I've heard is a good one. Yeah, all the good shows. But you guys, we are ending the show. We have come to the end. But don't forget, join us here on Tuesday, every Tuesday, next Tuesday, the Crazy Tuesday, for Astrology and Alchemy with Sarah and Matt. And I'm going to put stuff in the chat room. Matt, anything else we got?
No, I think that's it. You guys all have a fantastic week. Thanks for joining us a day early. And we'll talk to you all soon.
Night.
But I got to find I do this every time. I got to find the outro. So see you guys.